Hello amazing hackers, hope you're all doing well today. Welcome back to the channel. First of all, I don't know what's gonna be in the video footage, probably me messing with OWASP Zap or Burp Suite or something for a couple of minutes, but I have to talk to you guys seriously. And I want to talk about the fact that I don't make a win every single time. I don't make a hit piece every single video I put out, definitely not. My strategy has always been and will always be to throw a lot of things out there and see what sticks and try to hook onto that. And that does mean that I do make a lot of mistakes. Yes, it does. And I do have a lot of things which I'm not good at. I'm the first to admit that. And contrary to what some might believe, it is not a weakness to admit that you have things that you're not good at. You definitely have things that you're good at, and you also have things that you're not good at. I will happily admit that I am not the most technical person on this earth, by far. There are a lot of people in this space that are a lot more technical and a lot better than me. There are a lot of people who are also functionally a lot better than me. But what I try to do is I try to be decent at everything and great at one thing. So that means that I want to be proficient at a lot of things. Doesn't mean I want to be really in-depth knowledgeable, super knowledgeable about that. No, I want to know enough about that topic to be able to talk to somebody about it and to ask intelligent questions. Now, I also have my own personality, of course, and for me it's always been a struggle to define that, to define who I was. And that really hasn't helped me in the beginning of my life. Now, after let's say 28 years, I kind of started figuring it out. But before that, I was very adaptive. Whoever I was with, I would completely adapt to that person and I wouldn't have a personality of my own. I had a little bit of struggles with that when I started out with YouTube, but now I feel like everything's getting a lot better. Mainly because I am self-confident about who I am. I am Wesley. I am the thexssrat, and I like cross-site scripting. It's one of the things that I go very deep into, one of the topics that I love investigating. And even though I might not put out, like I say, great things every single time, you also have to remember that great things require a definition of what is great, what is good for you. You have to define that for yourself. You're gonna have to define for yourself, okay, when is it good enough? When do I feel like I've accomplished something? And that's really hard to do. Do not underestimate that, because you're your own worst critic and you're the first person to notice when something's wrong about that stuff. So you're gonna be the one poking yourself about it. Make sure that you define concrete goals for yourself and that you're happy at some point with the work that you've produced as well. Of course, we always have to stay humble. We always have to stay looking forward, and we always have to know that there's so much more to learn. But I think it's also okay to look backwards and be proud of the person that we've become. Because my God, friends, we have come far. Don't get me wrong about that. Every single one of you, I'm sure, has traveled a journey. Being human in and of itself means that you're traveling that journey. Now, I'm telling you guys all of this because why, I don't really know. I just felt the need to talk about this for a couple of minutes with my good friends, with the Rat Pack. Now, what I really want you to know is that whatever you feel that you didn't win that game, whenever you feel that you didn't perform optimally that day, remember that every champion has games that they lose. They bring their A game to every single training day. They bring their A game to the match day, but sometimes they lose as well. There's almost no champion that's undefeated. There are champions, don't get me wrong, but the people that we worship are the people that have fallen the most often, and they have made their own flaws, their own things that they've discovered. Now, I know because I've talked to some of you, and I have been mean in the past as well. I realize that. I'm really sorry about that. But through talking with people, I've realized that a lot of being mean comes from insecurities. I'm trying to massage these insecurities away from you, because those insecurities can cause you to latch out sometimes. Same happens for me. Now, I know that this isn't true for everybody, but I know that it's true for a lot of people. Insecurities do mean that you, like, let's be real. How the heck did this rat get 60,000 followers on Twitter with his little technical knowledge, with his little functional testing knowledge, with his little automation knowledge, blah, blah, blah? Well, I don't know. I don't know either. You have every reason to be jealous of me, in my opinion, because I don't deserve the position that I'm in. Let's be clear about that. But I am confident about the person that I am, and I'm not afraid to show that to the world. That includes showing my mistakes, opening up to the world a little bit about who I am, who I feel, how I feel, I mean. Like today, for example, I really didn't feel good today. But yesterday, I felt fine. I felt fine. I got so much done. What I did differently today was I started noting down everything that I did as well. Not just the to-dos, what I had to do, but also the things that I've already done that day. It's really important, like, just not in the to-do list that you check off, that you cross off. I wrote it in a separate list, a big summary of items that I did today. And I have to say, I'm kind of proud of myself, because all of the things that I was dreading doing today, I did them before noon. That is something like, that is not typical of me. I'm usually the procrastinator who will, if I have to call somebody and they close at 4 p.m., I will call at 1 minute to 4, hoping that they don't answer the phone anymore. That's the kind of person who I am. But I made like 4 phone calls before noon even today. And it's good that I have that to look back on, because that means that I do have something that I can be proud of. It doesn't just have to be technical either. Of course, there's a lot of technical stuff in there, because I do a lot of technical stuff. Right now, I'm much more technical than I was 3 years ago even, and I keep evolving every single year, year after year after year. Right now, one of my more specialties is API pen testing, which I love to death. You have your normal API pen testing, which you can do with Postman, but you also have your vulnerability analysis, vulnerability scanning, which you'll need something like Ready API for, or Neural Legion. You can also use Burp Suite for that, of course, but that's aimed a little bit differently. So there's a lot of options there. There's a lot of things to learn. You have the OWASP top 10, but besides that, there's also this API hacking book that I read from Corey Bell. Excellent book. It's out now, final release, by the way, review coming. But that really helped me in my career as well. And that helped me profile myself as the person who loves doing API testing and who's good at it as well. Today I've had talks with other companies about API testing, and I have to say it's been going much better than I expected. This is a topic that I can confidently speak about with other people that are maybe even more technical than me. And that is very impressive to myself, because even as a QA engineer, I was often afraid to speak my mind, and not really afraid, but reluctant. Let's just keep it at reluctant. That reluctancy has completely gone right now, and speaking my mind has brought me into a lot of trouble, but I am morally obliged to myself to speak what I find the truth. I don't think there is such a thing as an objective truth. I always think there is both sides to a story, so for me, I always feel like I have to live up to what I feel is the truth, and the beauty of that as well, because you will get a lot of fallout for that, but you'll also get a lot of beautiful things for that in return. It's like suddenly people aren't afraid to talk against you anymore, and they say, no, this is what it's really like, and it's mind-opening as well. A lot of problems these days exist because people live in a think tank. They surround themselves with the people with the exact same minds as them, with the exact same ideas as them, and it's especially true on Twitter. You have your silo of people that you follow, and these people are in the same category as you, It's all pretty related. It's like the cybersecurity category, for example, the cybersecurity silo. You have silos within that as well, I've noticed. So there's a lot of segregation in that group, big group of hackers still. Now, I hope that I've been able to show you guys that you're not alone who is sometimes doubtful, and that you're not alone who fails a lot, because people are intended to fail, but they need to learn from their mistakes. It's as simple as that. Let's be real, if you haven't fallen off of your bike, how would you learn to ride it in the first place? Of course, there are people who would pick up bike riding on their first try, but they would have a lot more trouble with learning more advanced tricks because they're not really used to that learning curve. They suddenly hit a much bigger learning curve. It's more like a steep hill instead of a small incline. And it's super, super important that you as well, even though you might be sad someday, even though you might be doubtful about yourself, I truly do think you're amazing. I've repeated this a few times in my videos already up to this point, but I want to keep it at that. I want to make sure that you know that you are amazing. Look in the mirror, my friends, because there is an amazing hacker staring back at you. Give him a smile for me. Go get that cheese. I love you, my friends, and I will see you in the next one.